So it's a beautiful day, the sun's shining, the birds are singing, and my patio furniture looks like a pile of crap. So my wife and I bought this table about 10 or 11 years ago, and it spent most of its time out in the sun, not under cover. And as you can see, I didn't have a workbench for a long time, so this was my de facto workbench. There's plenty of paint on there. There's screws and nails that have fallen between the gaps and have gouged out the wood. There's a couple of little cuts on the side where somebody might have been using a jigsaw. I'm not sure who that was, but somebody. The chairs are in pretty much the same shape, but maybe not as bad. They're probably just a bit dirty. So my plan to fix this is pretty simple. I've got my belt sander, 60 grit and 80 grit. I'll start with 80. If that's not doing the job, I'll switch down to 60 and just rip off everything. And then once that's all cleaned back, I'll switch over to my orbital sander and I'll put on probably only up to about, 120 grit or something like that, nothing too fancy. And then once it's all nice and clean, then I'll go over it with a few coats of some oil. It was really cool how nice it looked, even just after sanding, with nothing else being done to it.
I have a chair.
I also went over all the chairs and the tables and tightened up all the screws and the bolts and made sure everything was in good shape again. Now, I've never made a wax before or a polish, and well, I thought it would just be a little bit of fun to do. I didn't expect it to work out all that well, so if it's no good, I'll just replace it in 6 months' time or something. But basically, I used about 100 grams of beeswax, just grated that up, and then boiled it on the barbecue. So it took that about 15 minutes to melt down. Once it was all melted, I poured in a little bit of olive oil. I wasn't really sure on how much I'm supposed to use, so I just sort of played it by ear, didn't put in too much. And then I put in some eucalyptus oil, just because, well, I like the smell of eucalyptus oil and it's supposed to keep bugs and flies away, so we'll see if that works. It's really cool, the beeswax. I've never worked with it before. It's pretty much as soon as it cools down just a little bit, it turns back into a solid. So it didn't take all that long to go from hot oil to wax in a little jar. So that's my nice clean table again now. It looks like it did 10 years ago almost. It's fantastic. I'm wrapped with it. I don't know if it was worth making my own polish. That was probably more trouble than it was worth, to be honest. It's probably easier just to go spend a couple of extra dollars and buy the pre-made polish next time. With the chairs, all I did was clean them up. I sanded them back and I sort of cleaned them with a brush and a rag, and that was about it. They're going to end up getting dirty and dragged out in the sun and moved all over the place, so I don't see the point of going and making them too nice. They just, kids jump all over them and climb on them and that sort of thing, so I don't see the point. But the table, because we eat off of it, it's nice to have it nice and clean and polished and everything. So there you go, hope you like it. Nothing too in-depth, but a good little project, and it's earned me some brownie points with the wife as well. See you next time.